During discussions on the Civil Service Bill in the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee, high-ranking officials and political leaders had been pressuring to exclude the post-retirement cooling-off period provision. However, ignoring the pressure, the committee reached an agreement to include a 2-year cooling-off period. The bill, which includes a provision that retired or resigned civil servants cannot be appointed to government positions for 2 years, was unanimously passed by the committee. After the bill was passed, committee chairperson Ramhari Khatiwada stated that all retired employees would now be subject to a 2-year cooling-off period. Expressing gratitude to the government and lawmakers for the role in passing the bill, he made the following remarks.
सभामुख कहाँ जानुभयो, राष्ट्रिय सभाको अध्यक्ष कहाँ जानुभयो, प्रधानमन्त्री कहाँ जानुभयो, पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्री कहाँ जानुभयो, मुख छोपेर जानुभयो, मुख खोलेर जानुभयो, जसरी जानुभयो आफ्नो लबिङ गर्न, आफ्नो पक्षमा लबिङ गर्न उहाँहरू पनि लाग्नु, उहाँहरूलाई पनि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। तर एउटा कर्मचारी सधैँ राजनीति नियुक्तिमा मात्रै लाग्नुपर्छ भन्ने थिएन। त्यसका लागि मलाई विभिन्न सेक्टरबाट सहयोग गर्ने सम्पूर्णलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु।
Following the bill's passage in the committee, Chairperson Khatiwada assigned the task of finalizing the report to be submitted to Parliament to the Secretariat staff. Since it was subject under the committee's jurisdiction, the report was prepared by 3 entities: the Parliamentary Secretariat, the Ministry of Law and the Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration. As the bill belonged to the State Affairs Committee, the committee chair should have informed members about the finalized report prepared by Ministry and Secretariat staff. However, without informing the committee, he submitted the report directly to Parliament, and the House of Representatives passed the bill accordingly. It has been found that the report submitted to the House contained provisions contrary to what had been agreed upon in the committee. Not only was the committee not reconvened after the report was prepared, but lawmakers were also not informed, confirming suspicions of manipulation in the report process. Staff from Parliament and the Ministry of Law, who were reportedly pushing to remove the cooling period, were directly involved in the final drafting. Article 82, Sub-Article 5 of the current bill passed by the House allows for the appointment of retired officials to constitutional or diplomatic positions or any other appointments made by the government without observing the 2-year cooling-off period. This provision does not prevent retired employees from receiving such appointments. Accountability for this lies with the committee chair, but instead he has been giving irresponsible statements blaming the government for manipulation.
हिजो सर्वसम्मत संसदबाट बहुमतले गरेको र समितिले सर्वसम्मत गरेको निर्णयमा केही कन्फ्युजिङ भएको भन्ने शब्द आयो। यसमा हामीले सब समितिका सबै साथीहरू बसेर एउटा स्पष्ट भएर कुनै पनि निजामती कर्मचारी वा अन्य सरकारी कर्मचारी राजीनामा दिएमा अथवा सेवाबाट हटेमा दुईटै गरे राजीनामा दिएर अघिल्लो दिन भोलिपल्ट जाने चलन पनि हुन्छ। अवकाश भएको कर्मचारीले सेवाबाट अवकाश पाएको मितिले 2 वर्षको अवधि पूरा नभई कुनै पनि संवैधानिक सरकारी नियुक्ति कुनै पनि खान पाउने छैन भनेर स्पष्ट लेखिएको छ। त्यहाँ तल एउटा बाहेक भन्ने शब्द लेखेर पठाइएको रहेछ। संवैधानिक वा कूटनीतिक नियुक्तिमा नेपाल सरकारले गर्ने अन्य कुनै नियुक्ति बाहेक भन्ने शब्द छ। त्यो बाहेक भन्ने शब्द सच्याएर राष्ट्रिय सभाले पठाउने भन्ने सहमति भएको छ। कुलिङ पिरियड कुनै हालतमा हट्दैन, हट्न दिइदैन।
Under the current provision, there appears to be no restriction for retired officials to take up new appointments except those made on the recommendation of the Judicial Council. This contradicts the consensus reached in the committee. Questions are now being raised about how such a provision ended up in the report passed by the House. Even some lawmakers have accused the process of manipulation.
2 वर्ष चाहिँ जसरी व्यतिथिको रूपमा छ यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले जसरी पनि पास गर्नुपर्छ त्यसलाई हामीले टार्गेट गरेर हामीले के रे हामीले सहमति गर्यौं अरु विषय छोडेर पनि। तर अब हिजो विशेष गरेर पेश भइसकेपछि र अहिले पछिल्लो चरणमा हामीले बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ फेरि आदि हुने आदि नहुने खालको चाहिँ छोडिएछ। तर हाम्रो त सबै पक्षमा चाहिँ हामीले कुलिङ पिरियड राख्नुपर्छ 2 वर्ष हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो लडाई हो। यो जारी रहन्छ। अहिलेसम्म हामीले अब मुख्य गरेर सभापतिसँग हाम्रो कुरा भइरहेको छ कि यदि राष्ट्रपतिबाट लगाउनु भन्दा अगाडिसम्ममा यो चाहिँ सचिनु पर्छ, यो चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ विरोध रहन्छ भनेर भनेका छौं।
Lawmakers have alleged that despite strong pressure from top leadership and senior bureaucrats, manipulation occurred during the drafting of the bill's final report, even after it had been passed by the committee. However, some lawmakers appear unaware of how the final report was prepared. Once the final draft was sent to ministries and the parliamentary secretariat, it was submitted directly to the House without further discussion in the committee. Lawmakers argue that this was a serious lapse and suggest ulterior motives on the part of the committee chair. No one should alter content down to a comma or period of matters already discussed and passed by sovereign parliament and its committees. The change constitutes document forgery and fraud in government records.